Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. An insider name drops Wendy Williams while explaining what's allegedly going on with the Chrisleys' new TV show after Todd and Julie's release. For some time now, the Chrisley family has been aiming to make a TV comeback years after the cancellation of their USA Network show, Chrisley Knows Best. Their new project is truly coming together now, though, as Lifetime has ordered the Chrisleys' new show to series. Since that announcement, though, there's been a major development. The heads of the family, Todd and Julie, have been released from prison after being pardoned. An insider dished on how this affects the show, and they name-dropped Wendy Williams in the process. The currently untitled Chrisley TV project was announced near the end of May. It was confirmed at the time that the reality series would be headlined by Savannah Chrisley and her siblings, Chase, Grayson, and Chloe, as well as their grandmother, Nanny Faye. A synopsis was also released, which teased how the show would focus on the kids' personal lives and their struggles to deal with the absences of their imprisoned parents. Considering that Julie and Todd Chrisley are now free, it goes without saying that a portion of the series synopsis is essentially moot now. However, if the aforementioned sources' comments to people are be believed, the producers behind the show are now taking a fluid approach amid the changes in the Brood situation. The show is still filming and will continue to, though the family situation is evolving rapidly. No one knew this pardon would happen, and the goal is to cover their lives in real time. But things have significantly changed for them all, and everyone in the family, as well as producers, are trying to figure it out and tell their authentic story. As challenging as this all may sound, it would seem that the creative team isn't really sweating it. The insider cites the previously mentioned talk show host as a key reason for that. But the producers are used to this. It's similar to Wendy Williams. When filming began on her doc, they thought they were going to do one kind of show, and then everything changed. In 2024, Lifetime released Where is Wendy Williams, a 4-part docuseries that focuses on the former media personality in the aftermath of her eponymous show's cancellation. The show also covers Williams' health struggles and her placement under guardianship. Reports have since indicated that production on that series changed as time went on. Ultimately, the doc sparked controversy, with some viewers calling it exploitative and hard to watch. One of Williams' former producers expressed their misgivings about it, while the EPs behind the docuseries claimed Williams was fine with the way it turned out. Todd and Julie Chrisley's situation is, of course, much different. News of their pardons broke in late May, at which point daughter Savannah expressed excitement. The couple was found guilty of bank fraud, tax evasion, and more in 2022, with Julie and Todd subsequently receiving 7- and 12-year prison sentences, respectively. Savannah advocated for them over the last several years and eventually worked with presidential pardon czar Alice Marie Johnson to have her parents released. Well ahead of the Chrisleys' release, there was uncertainty regarding whether Todd and Julie would be involved with the show. That doesn't seem to be a question at this point. Still, Alice Marie Johnson advised that the married pair take some time to collect themselves as they reintegrate themselves into society. Regardless of whether Julie and Todd take that advice, their family is returning to the small screen at some point amid the 2025 TV schedule. And given how things have changed, it's very possible reality TV is wilder off-camera than it is on. And if you think Todd and Julie Chrisley stepping out of federal prison means they're slowing down, honey, buckle up. Because what's brewing behind closed doors for their new TV project is equal parts comeback story, PR chess game, and, get this, a touch of Wendy Williams energy. Yes, that Wendy. Now, I've been working in the trenches of reality TV production for over a decade. I've seen it all. Messy divorces negotiated on speakerphone with Bravo execs, late-night breakdowns in sprinter vans, and NDAs so thick they might as well be bulletproof. But when word started circulating through production circles that the Chrisleys were quietly shopping a new unscripted project, just weeks after Todd's release, you could feel the electricity in the air. Here's what I know. First of all, the Chrisleys aren't just trying to reboot Chrisley Knows Best. No, that brand, while iconic, is tied too tightly to their past. The image of a perfectly coiffed Southern family with immaculate one-liners just doesn't hold up when two of its stars have done time for bank fraud. The new show is being pitched as something more raw, more redemptive. Think The Comeback Chrisleys, not the final title, but it's being floated. It's supposed to chronicle Todd and Julie's re-entry into public life, complete with ankle monitors, therapy sessions, and family reconciliation moments. It's got a darker tone, but still enough banter to remind fans why they fell in love with them in the first place. Here's where Wendy Williams comes in. One of the executives attached to the project, a veteran from Daytime Talk, reportedly brought up Wendy's post-show struggles in a pitch meeting. She said, and I quote, "We need to do the opposite of what happened with Wendy. America doesn't want to see another celebrity spiral. They want to see people rise, especially when they're real about their fall." That statement hit everyone in the room like a cold splash of tea. The reference wasn't meant to be shady toward Wendy, but it was a cautionary tale. The exec elaborated, saying the Wendy Williams docuseries, though gripping, left fans feeling powerless and heartbroken. The Chrisleys, in contrast, could flip the narrative by taking control of their story, leaning into redemption rather than dissent. The message: don't become a tragic character, become a phoenix. Now, behind the scenes, there's been serious negotiation drama. Todd, ever the showman, allegedly wants full creative control. Julie, on the other hand, is said to be more cautious. One source close to production told me, Julie's mindset has shifted since prison. She wants privacy, healing, and maybe a podcast. Todd wants drones, monologues, and a confessional chair with perfect lighting. There's also the kids. Savannah has been playing the role of public liaison for months, teasing updates on social media, doing podcast rounds, and making it very clear that the family isn't done by any means. But insiders say there's quiet tension. Some producers are worried that centering too much of the show on Savannah might blur the narrative. It's supposed to be about redemption, one exec said, not influencer branding. Even Chase has reportedly voiced concerns about the new show's direction, with one insider claiming he wants less filming, more healing. Grayson, the youngest, might pop in, but sources say he's focused on his own mental health after a turbulent few years. And then there's Nanny Faye. Oh, bless her heart. She's the wild card. Producers are practically salivating over her return. Her wit, her sass, her surprisingly unfiltered commentary about prison visits. One person in development joked that the whole show could just be Nanny Faye reading prison letters in a rocking chair and still get greenlit. So where does this all stand? Here's what's allegedly happening as of this week. A major streaming platform, not Netflix or Hulu, but think mid-tier player with a family-focused audience, is in final talks to pick up the pilot. It's being described as a docuseries with unscripted narrative arcs, which is just fancy talk for. We're gonna film their real life, but also make it dramatic enough to sell ads. Todd and Julie's post-prison conditions reportedly allow filming, but only within certain jurisdictions, and with scheduled check-ins. That adds a unique production twist. One of the pilot episode concepts being floated involves Todd trying to throw a lavish welcome home dinner for Julie, only for the catering truck to get stuck in traffic, Julie to show up early, and their parole officer to unexpectedly swing by mid-toast. Tell me that doesn't scream season premiere.